Hey, how you doing? I'm Adam Post, publisher of College of the Dead, publisher of more than 1,000 comic books, publisher in the ComicsGate network, and this is another one of my really exciting and enlightening, I hope, videos in the Secrets of the ComicsGate network series. I've done about 15 or 16 of these. I've gotten some really great feedback. And what this series is all about is really letting you know from my 30 years of independent comic book publishing and my recent 2 years or so working on crowdfunding comic books with the ComicsGate people, everything I know, everything I've learned, and anything I can do to help you guys out when you're thinking about publishing your own comics, or if you're a big fan of comics and ComicsGate, independent comics, you just kind of want to know what's about and what we're doing and how we're talking about this stuff kind of behind the scenes and how we help each other do this. So a lot of people have been asking me, how do they get started in being successful with publishing their own comic books, which is kind of a normal question. So a lot of people want to do that. And the answer is, of course, it takes a lot of work and it's not easy. But a lot of people are willing to do the work. They're willing to spend money. It's like well, what do I got to do? What do I got to do? And a lot of times, the answers that you get are, well-intentioned answers, and my intentions are always good. I always say, look, you really have to build your own platform and you have to network, right? So that's great. And obviously it really is correct. You can't just put your book out without a bunch of people knowing about it and promoting it and think that all of a sudden, just because you put it out, even if it's an amazing, amazing book, that it's going to be successful. So people, naturally would say, well, how do you build a platform? And it's really a step-by-step kind of thing. So for people who are really new to trying to promote their work, especially people who are interested in ComicsGate, I always like to tell them, look, get started small by just going on Twitter and getting a free Twitter account. I was never a big Twitter person, really. I mean, I've done stuff on Twitter every now and then, but Twitter is a lot of people say bad things about Twitter, or they'll say, it's just too short. It's just like little bursts of information. But Twitter, even though, it does get censored for our purposes, for meeting other people who are interested in the kind of things that you're interested in, for meeting other people who are involved with comics and involved with ComicsGate, it really is excellent. It's a great way to get started. It's not going to make you, some successful multimillionaire overnight. But once you get started, you get to it's really a first step for you. So I like to tell people sign up with Twitter. And there was a guy who saw one of my prior videos when I was mentioning building your platform. And he did that. He signed up for Twitter and he mentioned to me on Twitter, hey, I signed up, I listened, I did what you said, and I see him out there retweeting people and things like that. And honestly, that's great. I love to see that because you have to get started if you're going to do something. Sort of like starting this video. That was my big introduction. While we're at it, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Click the bell for notifications so you don't miss my videos. Otherwise, you're not going to know what the heck's going on. So how do you get started on Twitter? What are you actually going to do on Twitter? What do I do on Twitter? Well, one of the things about being successful in independent publishing now is building your platform. What your platform is your way of reaching people who would be potential customers of yours. And they might buy your book, but you also want to get potential, let's call them influencers. Who's an influencer? Anybody with a social media account is an influencer. Anyone is an influencer who can help you to get your network going, to sell your books. Am I an influencer, Adam Post? Absolutely I am. Do I have 1 million followers? No, I've got 1,918 followers. I started with 0 followers, and then I got more followers. And I'll tell you how to get more followers also. But the point is, yes, you want people who will back your campaign, but you also, which is spending money, actually buying your books, but you also want and really need people who just want to support you. I have a lot of people who I support. So I retweet a lot of campaigns. So this is my Twitter account, for example. So this is how I support people without even spending money. And this is what you need to learn to do. Here's a great guy, Simon Simpoitier, really good artist, creative guy. He's putting out a number of books. And you know what? I like his work. And he's a good guy. He was also really good to me when I was first started getting involved with ComicsGate. He supported me. He introduced me to other people. He got me on different YouTube shows. He was very generous with me. Just a good guy. Here's another guy, Drew, who calls himself Mysterious Mr. E. He has a comic book called Captain Love. Now, Simon is promoting one of Simon's books, and this is just my random tweet from 2 hours ago, whatever. Right? This is my activity here. Now, what is Drew doing? Well, Drew is doing something that I advised him he do, but he's got an amazing heart. And once he learned how the business worked, he was like, wait a minute. So all I really have to do is go on, get to know people, be patient, work hard, socialize. He's a machine. Drew is like all over the place now. Everybody loves Drew. His book is Captain Love. I believe it's still available in demand, and I think he's got a sequel coming up soon. And I ought to know, but I don't. I ain't perfect. But that said, what is Drew doing here? Well, Drew is supporting another friend of mine, Carlo Rowe, who I also met through ComicsGate, who has a really successful book called Deathsworn. If you want to learn about marketing and comic books, follow Carlo Rowe and bother him on Twitter. When you might bother, just send him a message saying, hey, Carl, I heard about Deathsworn. Adam Post says I should bother you about learning how to be a great marketing person. He's busy. He's an artist. He's not in the business. He doesn't really do his own videos. He appears very generously on my live streams and on shows with me sometimes. But, he may give you some advice, and he's always been really helpful to me. But you also should look at back in Deathsworn because he's a great guy. And also, so there's Drew. So Drew is promoting someone else. You see how the network starts to build? This is me promoting myself. And this is a tweet from, yes, this entire video is going to be 3 hours of me just going through my Twitter account. No, it's not. I just want to show you the examples and the dynamics of Twitter if you're not familiar with it. Or, pretty entertaining. You may as well listen to me anyway. This is Ted Zagaro. Great guy, really, really talented in video production. He did my trailer for College of the Dead, which I absolutely love. It's like the pinnacle of my creative achievement was producing that trailer for my new comic book, at least for the last, I would say, since I've been in ComicsGate. It was great shipping my first book on time, but to present my publishing work this beautifully the way that Ted did is fantastic. And Ted, here he is promoting himself because he's in the business of making these videos now. For other people as well. He's a video guy. He's done this professionally already, but he's doing it now for ComicsGate more. And he's promoting me. What a guy. And there I am retweeting him. You see how the dynamics work and the network starts to go? This is just a tweet from Donald. RT Bear has another thing going on. So you kind of get a sense of how the dynamics work. Like, just get on Twitter. It's free, right? And then when you're on Twitter, if you're interested in ComicsGate, what are you supposed to be doing? Well, you go into the Twitter search box if you don't know where people are, and you go ComicsGate, hashtag ComicsGate, bing, bang, boom, here we go, ComicsGate. So what good is that going to do you? Well, what it's going to do is you're going to see people that are involved and talking about ComicsGate. Here's Mandy Somber. She's a huge supporter of other people, and she's supporting Ethan Van Sciver's latest campaign, Cyberfrog Unforgettable Tales. I'm not going to sing the song the way he did, but unforgettable. All right, just a little bit. Don't want to get a copyright strike. No, my singing is not so bad that it's unrecognizable. It's just your ears. So, but look at this. So here she is supporting him, and I'm looking at like Mandy's supporting and saying, congratulations to Ethan Van Sciver for destroying the $100,000 goal. Yeah, that is amazing. I'm really happy for him. And now I'm retweeting it because I'm like, wow, Mandy's on the ball, and I ain't paying attention. What's going on over here? But okay, this Mandy's saying more things. And then there's Phil, and there's a whole bunch of people. So if you want to be involved with ComicsGate, what you would do is go and see my profile or go on Mandy's profile. Look at people who are following Mandy, for example. You can follow them. All right, I haven't been doing this that much, but there are people. So generally speaking, if people follow Mandy, they're interested in ComicsGate. You can look at some of their profile names, but you don't even have to look at it so detailed. So this is how you build up your following on Twitter. You go and you pick someone who you think is a cool ComicsGate guy. Let's be honest, I'm a cool ComicsGate guy, all right? We have to admit it. Don't you feel better now that you admitted it? Good. All right. So let's look at people following me. So then you can go and you can follow these people that I'm following. And because they're ComicsGate, and like follow me first, I guess. So they see you follow like me, and then you'll be following the same person if they're following me. So then what happens then? Well, some of them will follow you back. You know, you can follow about 100 at a time. Twitter has its own rules. They don't really want you to mass follow. They don't want robot accounts and whatever and all that stuff. But you can follow 50, 100 at a time, and then 12 hours later, another 100. Before you know it, you'll be following 1,000, 2,000 people, which could take, just a matter of a few weeks. And then of them, if you have an interesting looking profile with cool artwork and they see you retweeting other ComicsGate guys, they'll be like, who the hell is this guy that's following me? They'll be like, oh, he follows that Adam Post guy. He's got to be cool. Oh, he retweeted College of the Dead. Wow, he's got to be amazing. Oh, look at that. He followed Raging Golden Eagle with their cool Blue Devil comic. I will follow them, So someone like me, someone like Mandy, someone like Ethan Van Sciver, obviously we all have our own, different audiences. Just follow the ones that look interesting to you. Don't spend the whole day, getting nutty with it. Just, take an hour, follow 100 people while you're watching TV or some YouTube show. Like, how hard is that? You could do it now while we're talking. You could pause me, come right back. Are you back? Okay, anyway, but do it, because then people will follow you. And then look at what people are tweeting and then retweet them. Oh my God, we got 11. See, now look at this dynamic. How is this interesting? This is a nice person, this Martin Young. I don't know what their deal is, but I saw them yesterday. But anyway, people are retweeting. What is this? The Ultimate Showdown, something that somebody's doing. So this is how it goes. Once you have some interaction with people, then you're involved in the action. What's going on? Now you found my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is a fun channel. Are you subscribed? Did you click the bell for notifications? Don't get mad. That's my job. I got to tell you. I got to remind you. Good. Well, there's other YouTube channels too. Almost all of us have YouTube channels. Mandy has a YouTube channel. Ethan Van Sciver has a YouTube channel. Raging Golden Eagle has an awesome YouTube channel. In fact, last night he and I were on my channel. I'll put the link to this in the description. What a huge show. What a lot of fun. 2.5 hours talking to this guy. I could talk to this guy, 4 or 5 hours a day, every day. But then people would talk. But no, he's really interesting, and he's got a great loyal following. So really, really cool. He's got a great comic called Blade Devil. You know what? I'll be a good guy, and I'll be responsible. I'll put a link to Blade Devil in this video as well, since we're referencing him. Sounds fair. Now, that's my campaign. We'll talk about that in a second. So you kind of get an idea what's going on with Twitter and how to build things up. Now, there's sort of a secret little thing in Twitter as well. I call it secret because I don't know anything about Twitter. So it took me months to know that this existed. But thanks to, I believe it was Simon Simpoitier, I started to understand, hey, wait a minute, there are these cute little groups. Now, these are private groups. I'm not giving away any secrets here. This is a group that I have that I started, and I put about 30 people in who I plan on doing more live streams with on YouTube. And this is for us to communicate. We also use this to promo each other's projects. Here's a guy who calls himself Commie Mark, who's a total character. And he wants me to retweet this for him. That's why this is tweeted in this little private group. You get invited into private groups, and you get invited into private groups by other people kind of referring you in. That's how that works. But you meet those people either on YouTube, being on someone's show, or in a chat on a YouTube show, or you meet them on Twitter by doing exactly what I said to do. And they're like, oh, who's this guy? What kind of projects he's working on? Here's Simon Simpoitier, Red Gaze. So there's a bunch of guys that are doing these promos. But the purpose of it is, we're supposed to be doing live streams. But that is like the basic review on Twitter. Now, I am no super ninja expert of crowdfunding. My first campaign here did $10,600. But you have to understand, it was a small project for me. I did not know a lot of people. And, when I launched it, I had the book completely finished. But I didn't even have a YouTube trailer, which is something you need. We'll do a different video on that. I really didn't know the game. I didn't know how the whole business worked. Nobody explained Twitter promotion to me or YouTube promotion to me or any of the secrets of the ComicsGate network that I'm explaining to you in this series. So it started out where in 30 days, I was trying to raise $5,000 on a flexible goal. which was too high. Why was it too high? Because no one knew me. I really didn't know anybody. 3,000 is really your max goal, regardless of your cost of production. That's a different business problem. But trying to get more money than you're entitled to really ask for when you're new in publishing comics, when you're asking too much of the friend network, the small network I'm exposing you to, and how to get popular in it or get known in it and be involved in it, that network can fund $3,000 or so if it looks like you know what you're doing. When you're going beyond $3,000, then you're pushing your luck. And when you're pushing your luck, it just means you're probably not going to get funded. Or you'll get funded, but it'll be a freaking squeaker at the end that you get funded. It won't be clear that you're going to get funded. So, for example, in my case, I had a $5,000 flexible goal, which meant flexible instead of fixed, which meant that I would get all the money even if the goal wasn't met. That's fine if you're running the campaign to be flexible, but it's not fine for your potential backers. They look at it and they say, hey, you know something? That guy's a great guy. That campaign looks nice, but I don't really want to back this if I'm not sure it's going to get funded. So we didn't have enough momentum in the campaign. That said, we extended it for another 30 days, which Indiegogo will usually let you do. It does let you do it. And so it ran 60 days for me to finally make the goal of $5,310. And then it closed on August 25th. I let it go in demand, which is Indiegogo's basically free web store. They let you keep it open and sell additional copies and continue to promote as people discover you later on. And then ultimately I closed it at $10,600, which, doing the math now, it actually is $20 shy of being a 200% funded. So double the money after that, whatever that is, from August to March, roughly 6 months, right? It was about 5 months. But that said, all right, so that was relatively successful. Now I have my current campaign going, video by Ted Zagaro. Love Ted Zagaro. And this is after the first week, I did a $3,000 goal, even though some people, I do have people who knew me from the prior campaign. I had 200 backers. And I also had people who signed up for a pre-launch list, which I did an email video about, but I'll do another video about because that's important. That said, in a week, we've generated almost as much as I generated in 2 months. It's 44.30. So that's pretty good. It's not millions of dollars, but it's a lot of growth. I mean, in 1 week to do that much, thank God we've got these great backers and I have great supporters. And thank you to everybody who's listening who backed this or retweeted it also. That's another form of backing. That's really appreciated. Share it on social media. But that's a huge improvement. And it's because I've been networking like this. Because this book is a good book. It's not like it's a million times better than this book, or it's doing like maybe 3 or 4 times as well for the first week. So is it 3 or 4 times a better book? No. But am I 3 or 4 times better known? At a minimum, yeah, I'm like 300% better known. I have 300% more or 400% more of a following, and it's reflected almost exactly in the dollars. So listen, if you're not on Twitter, or if you are on Twitter, maybe you didn't know about these secret macho groups. Maybe you picked up something from this. Maybe you could just share this video with someone else who's kind of new to this, and you know it, but you don't feel like taking a half an hour to explain it, like me, because, hey, that's the kind of guy I am. I'm willing to do it. But yeah, share the video with someone who's kind of asking about it or like doesn't understand how it works or might be interested in it. You get known. So now I'm building up my YouTube channel. I'm still building up the Twitter. I'm still supporting more people. So there's a lot to be done to continue to build our base and our platform. But that's what building your platform is all about. And College of the Dead is running currently. Definitely check out the campaign. I have the link in the description, but you can also get there from going to collegeofthedead.com. And this is a 48-page full-color zombie apocalypse story is what it is. And it continues from the first book of College of the Dead. And you don't have to have the first book to read it, but they are the events that took place right prior to it, this current book. So yeah, it came out great. It's already done and it's ready to ship. And that's another thing that I advise to people. Really try to have your stuff done completely in advance as much as you can so that you're not trying to hustle and mess around to make a deadline. This book's going to ship June 26th, 2020. I know what day it's shipping because the book is done. We're just laying out the final design for it. So I'll be in a position to ship this, to actually see printed copies at the end of this month, March, and definitely be shipping on time, if not early, in June 2020. And then I can launch another one. This is the black and white art for a mermaids project I'm working on. It's called The Mermaids. How do you like that? Actually, Adam posts The Mermaids, just like Adam posts College of the Dead. This is the black and white line art for one of the covers that I had done, and I love how it came out. And this is the color for that. I have an amazing creative team, and I got some really good help from that. Actually, I'm looking at this now, I'll be honest with you. This isn't the final version of the color. We did some additional changes to the shading. We're very meticulous with this stuff. So let's say it's work in progress, but it's pretty close. And my creators did an amazing job on it, guys. Farah did a beautiful coloring, and Javier did a fantastic job on the penciling and the inking. It's a little heavy, so we altered some of the shading. I'll show you in the next video. And this is the logo for the book. This was done by J.J. Jackson, who formerly worked for Marvel Comics under Jim Shooter, and then worked for Jim Shooter at Valiant when it was first started up. And they did some amazing work together. And she's a friend of mine, and I always go to her for logos. She's absolutely fantastic. If you want me to connect you to JJ to have a freelance logo done, just send me a message on Twitter. My Twitter account is easy to find, and I'm also it's in the description of the video. I always keep it there. All right, make sure you're subscribed to this channel. It's incredibly important. Click the bell for notifications. It's a huge help to me. So if you want to help me out, by all means, let your friends know about it. And also put any comments below if you knew about Twitter, if you know about additional Twitter secrets that, hey, maybe I don't know and I should do a follow-up video. I will do them. If there are other subjects you want to hear about, let me know. I will definitely keep you aware. Be sure to check out my campaign, College of the Dead. This is how I also build my network and make my living now. Share it up. Very cool project I'm really proud of. And there will be a College of the Dead 3. And I'll announce the launch date as soon as College of the Dead 2 has shipped, one project at a time. And it's going to be College of the Dead Spring Break, it looks like, which I'm really excited about. It's going to be a really fun series. And it's going to be the same cast member, but it's going to be a spring break setting. You'll see. It's going to be very cool. So thanks a lot. Make sure you do have an account on Twitter. Use Twitter to your advantage. It's there so you can network and meet people and find customers, but also find influencers and find experienced people. People with experience who can help you to learn how to do things that you're not yet familiar with how to do. All right. I will see you soon. And if I don't see you, I will miss you.